The Muslim Kids Show!
Assalamu alaikum, my dear children. Gather around. Today I'm going to tell you about one of the great true stories from history, which is in the Quran. You can ask questions at the end. Come closer and pay attention. In the time of famine. So when they returned to their father, they said, "O our father, no more measure of grain shall we get unless we take our brother. So send our brother with us, and we shall get our measure, and truly we will guard him." He said, "Can I entrust him to you, except as I entrusted his brother Yusuf to you aforetime? But Allah is the best to guard, and He is the most merciful of those who show mercy." And when they opened their bags, they found their money had been returned to them. They said, "O our father, what more can we desire? This our money has been returned to us, so we shall get more food for our family, and we shall guard our brother and add one more measure of a camel's load. This quantity is easy for the king to give." He, Yaqub the father, said, "I will not send him with you until you swear a solemn oath to me in Allah's name that you will bring him back to me unless you yourselves are surrounded by enemies." And when they had sworn their solemn oath, he said, "Allah is the witness over what we have said." And he said, "O my sons, do not enter by one gate, but enter by different gates, and cannot avail you against Allah at all. Verily, the decision rests only with Allah. In Him I put my trust, and let all those who trust put their trust in Him." And when they had entered according to their father's advice, it did not avail them in the least against Allah. It was but a need of Yaqub's inner self which he discharged. And verily he was endowed with knowledge, because we had taught him. But most men know not. And when they went before Yusuf, he betook his brother Benjamin to himself, and said, "Verily, I am your brother, so grieve not for what they used to do." So, when they had furnished them forth with their provisions, he put the golden bowl into his brother's bag. Then a soldier cried, "O you in the caravan, surely you are thieves!" They, turning towards him, said, "What is it that you have missed?" The soldiers said, "We have missed the golden bowl of the king, and for him who produces it is the reward of a camel load, and I will be bound by it." They said, "By Allah, indeed you know that we came not to make mischief in the land, and we are no thieves." They, Yusuf's soldiers, said, "What then be the penalty of him, if you are liars?" They, Yusuf's brothers, said, "The penalty should be that he, in whose bag it is found, should be held for the punishment. Thus we punish the wrongdoers." So Yusuf began the search in their bags, before the bag of his brother. Then he brought it out of his brother's bag. Thus did we plan for Yusuf. He could not take his brother by the law of the king, except that Allah willed it. So Allah made the brothers to bind themselves with their way of punishment enslaving a thief. We raise 2 degrees whom we please, but over all those endowed with knowledge is the all-knowing Allah. The brothers said, "If he steals, there was a brother of Yusuf who did steal before. But these things did Yusuf keep in himself, revealing not the secrets to them. He said within himself, "You are in worst case, and Allah knows best the truth of what you assert." They said, "O ruler of the land, verily he has an old father who would grieve for him, so take one of us in his place. Indeed, we think that you are one of the good doers." He said, "Allah forbid that we should take anyone but him with whom we found our property. Indeed, if we did so, we should be wrongdoers." So, when they despaired of him, they held a conference in private. The eldest among them said, "Know you not that your father did take an oath from you in Allah's name? And before this you did fail in your duty with Yusuf. Therefore I will not leave this land until my father permits me, or Allah decides my case, and he is the best of judges. Return to your father and say, 'O father, verily your son Benjamin has stolen, and we testify not except according to what we know, and we could not know the unseen.' And ask the people of the town where we've been, and the caravan in which we returned, and indeed we are telling the truth.